just in case. Alrighty, I'm gonna get started because I respect your time and I know you East Coasters need to go to bed soon, so you can wake up early and be happy people. So plus you need those muscles to grow and repair and all of that good stuff. So let me go ahead and roll. You guys probably have seen already that the Challenge Pack promotions are great for this month. For Cup Month, we have Fix, Fix Extreme, and Size, and all the Kickstart options and Spanish-speaking options of all of those as well. So lots of good stuff to help us out for Cup. So anyway, today I want to talk about, before I move on, today's birthday, as a lot of you know, a lot of your leaders are going to be in Cabo. So make sure that you guys help each other, support each other. If your lines, if you haven't, I'm getting some background noise somewhere, so bottom left. But anyway, support each other, help each other out, answer questions, especially in challenge groups. We're going to be there to check in, but we're probably not going to be as present as we normally are in the groups. So make sure that you step up and help out if at all possible. So it's good to see you guys all here tonight. I'm going to talk about social media. We have lots of new coaches, and this is always something that I think is worth addressing. So I'm just going to kind of go through some do's and don'ts for social media, some general do's and don'ts. Write them down if this is all new to you. If it's not new to you, it's just a refresher. But anyway, I think it's definitely worth repeating. So first of all, I want to tell you that the difference between me and you guys really is just that I've been doing it longer. Yes, I make more money than you right now because I've been doing it longer, not because I'm better than you at anything. My first invites were so ridiculous. I don't know how anybody ever said yes to me. They were like 3 pages long and just honestly like so full of bird vomit. Okay, you guys mute your line. Somebody's not muted. But anyway, they were so ridiculously long and terrible and full of word vomit and links. And if you buy this, you can get this, and it's this price, but you could also do this and get it for this price. And I mean, it was ridiculous. So I'm telling you, like, the only difference between me and you is I've learned some lessons along the way that you guys maybe haven't learned yet, or when you started, you hadn't learned yet, hopefully. I've tried my best to provide training that keeps you from falling into some of those traps like I did, and hopefully you're gonna be a lot better and progress a lot quicker and all of that. But anyway, just know that we all make mistakes, and so a lot of this stuff is trial and error. You're gonna need to figure out what works for your market and figure out what your market is. But the difference between me and the difference between me and you is just that I've been doing it longer. So I have time on my side. I've been consistent. So those two things, it's time plus consistency. I've done both of those. I've been doing it a long time and I've been very consistent with it. So get there, do those things, and you will be where I am in just a couple of years, hopefully sooner than I am. So start with some do's. So the first thing I want you to do is be you. This goes without saying, right? But I want you to be authentic. Vulnerable, positive. You attract what you put out. So if you're a negative person and you're talking about how terrible your day is and whatever, like, yeah, I know sometimes you have a bad day and you should be able to be real, right? So yes, absolutely, 100%. I'm not telling you to make stuff up. I'm not telling you to not be real, but don't air your dirty laundry. Don't just complain. You always need to try to find the silver lining. So you're going to be you. Put that out there and put the positive spin on it, because that's what's going to attract people. If you're Debbie Downer all the time and you're just talking bad about somebody, they're going to be like, oh, I don't want to get on her bad side. I'm not going to offend her in any way, or what's going to happen if I tell her something? Is she going to keep my confidence or whatever? So you need to make sure that you are that person, that you want to attract the person. You act like the person you want to attract, if I could speak tonight. So I really want you to focus on that. So be positive. Definitely that's what you need to put out there, because that's exactly what you're going to attract. But also just be authentic and vulnerable, because it's what people relate to, right? They're going to probably know 5 different Beachbody coaches, maybe more, maybe 2 or 3, whatever. But they're going to know more than one, I would imagine. You're not the only one they're going to know. So make sure that they choose you because they can relate to you. If you're copying and pasting somebody else's stuff, the reason that's a problem, not just because Facebook actually punishes the original poster for that, and it's not really cool. You always want to ask permission for something, and for someone's post, if you're going to take it verbatim or whatever, always ask for permission from that person. But the thing is, it's not you. Like, why is somebody gonna need you? The reason people buy it off eBay or off Amazon, a product, a program, is because they don't understand the value that you provide. And that's what your job is, to teach them the value that you provide. I want somebody to go, you know what, I want to buy it from Corey Abraham and not off Amazon, and not off eBay, and not from whomever else, but because I know she provides value. I know she's consistent, and I know she can take me through this program because I've seen her post. I know she's on this fitness journey, whatever. So that's what you want them to think. If you're copying and pasting somebody else's, first of all, it's not going to be effective for you because it's not your words, and it's not going to be sustainable. Like, one day they're going to be like, oh, she sounded like this one day, and then another day, the next week, you sound completely different. That there's some sort of, they're not going to understand. Like, it's going to sound like two different people entirely. So you need to make sure it's always your voice. And I really recommend reading aloud whatever you write. It's the rhymes, guys. Anyway, there's a disconnect. So write it out before you ever post anything. Read it aloud. Is that something you would actually say before you post it? Always, like, think about that. Do I talk like that? Is that something I would say? No, it's probably not. Well, then fix it. Also, little things like grammar and stuff. Don't be like, well, I talk like that, whatever. If it's poor grammar, like, fix it a little bit. Like, don't use like the letter U. Like, type out YOU. This is your business, right? This is your storefront. When people come to your page and they're going to invest money, you don't want to be so casual that everything is like abbreviated and poor grammar and misspelled words all over the place. Like, if you need help in that area, that's cool. I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but get somebody else to read through it and kind of proof it in case it doesn't make sense. And just try to proofread one time before you post it. Make sure it's something that you can say. Make sure it sounds like you. Okay, so that's your first one. Your second thing is be consistent. Post consistently every single day. Try to post 2 to 3 times a day, but you can only post once, but you need to be posting every single day, and you want to get interaction. So if you're only going to post once a day, it does not need to be about Beachbody. You need to make sure that you're posting. That's why I like the 2 to 3 times a day, because you really need to follow the 80-20 rule, which is 80% about you and only 20% about Beachbody or fitness even at all. Like, if you're a personal trainer or have a fitness background, it makes more sense to post more about fitness. But if you don't, then 20% max. So what I want you to do after we get off the call, go look at your Facebook page, your feed. If the last 5 posts you've done, if more than one of them is about Beachbody, you need to step up your game and post about other things in your life, because you need to be interesting, right? More than you're just like trying to sell something. You need to be an interesting person who adds value to the world. So again, that's how somebody's going to select you when they know all these other coaches. They're going to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to go with her. I'm going to go with Erica because Erica provides value. And what does value mean? Maybe she makes you laugh. Maybe she talks about her kids in a way that's funny. Maybe she provides videos of her workouts. Maybe she provides recipes. Maybe hair tips or whatever it is, like interest other than fitness. So it's really important that you be you 80% of the time. That has nothing to do with Beachbody. Okay, so that kind of goes without saying. We talk about it a lot, but it's really important for you to figure out those other interests. If you are into, hiking or triathlons, or you're in mops, or you are in baby wearing, like you're interested in that kind of thing. You just had a baby, whatever. Like, whatever it is, you figure that out, whatever that hobby is, how would you spend your time outside of Beachbody? Or what did you do prior to Beachbody? Figure those things out and post about those things as well. So 80% of the time it's that stuff, and 20% of the time, that's what gives you the audience and the credibility, their attention. To be able to post that 20% is because you have, because you have earned it with your other 80%. Recipes are fine. Yeah, that's not really considered part of the 20%. I'm really talking about like Beachbody at the 20%. If all you do is health and fitness, then maybe find another hobby. Like honestly, like find something else, passion. Like just find something else that you're interested in and share that too. Maybe it's parenting. That's for me, and a lot of it's parenting. Because what do I do all day, every day? I potty train. I deal with a 9-month-old who doesn't sleep. Like it's, that's my life. It's crazy. And that's what I talk about. And, I mean, sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's like, it's whatever. But I always try to keep it light because I think there's a lot of, I don't always, I most of the time keep it light because I feel like a lot of Facebook is serious and bad news and all that. I like to be a little bit different than that. So that's my personal take. But just find a hobby if you don't have one. Something else that you can talk about. There's got to be something that you can talk about other than Beachbody, because you were a person before Beachbody, right? Yes, shake your head if you agree. Everybody was a person before Beachbody. Yeah, so you have something else to bring to the table, right? And you want to connect with people, your lifers, the people who are going to choose you to be on your team, to join your team. Those are people who connect with you probably in ways other than just fitness. So you want to connect with people in ways, like people you want to hang out with in real life. Those are the people who I want to coach with. I want my coaches to be people I really like and who I have things in common with and who I would hang out with in real life. So it's the same thing. Like you want to make sure that you find people who you want to hang out with in real life. So just be you and add value to the world. So that's actually the next one is add value. And I've already talked about it, but I didn't specifically or explicitly say it was number 5. It keeps people coming back. It's, it could be motivation, it could be education, funny stories, recipes, whatever. But you want people to go to your page for a reason. Like, you know what, I haven't seen Regan's post lately. I'm gonna go see what Regan's up to. Or I haven't seen, Amy's post, and she has such great workout posts. So I'm gonna go see what she's been doing. You want people to go to your page for a reason. You want to be that person where, like, think about the websites you visit or the Facebook pages you visit. Like, yeah, some of them you probably just happen along on your news feed, but there are others that you probably go to specifically. Like when I'm looking for good recipes, there are always a couple that I'm always going to, because I know that I'm gonna get good content there. I'm gonna get good recipes, I'm gonna get good tips, whatever. So I'll go to those pages specifically for that. So that's what you wanna be. You wanna be the person whose page they go to specifically for a purpose, and that's because you're adding value. So that the purpose is because you're funny, or because you, whatever, that's what you wanna do, is add value. And as you grow, the people you attract are going to change. So you need to really be focused on personal development for that reason. If you're not doing personal development, like I've said this so many times, but you cannot lead a team, not a great team, a big team, if you're not growing as a person. Like you absolutely, that's a necessity. You have to be growing as a person if you ever want to attract builders, if you ever want to attract people who are going somewhere, want to do something with their lives. You have to completely change yourself. So always focus on that personal development. And those are good shares too. Like if you're sharing what you're learning in your personal development and what you're reading, things like that, that's good value add for your page. Okay, so then some don'ts. Do not, like I've already mentioned this in the do for be you, but don't copy paste or spam. You want people to understand that it's when I say spam, I mean like posting, when you copy paste, that can be really spammy because it's not you, first of all. You need to read it and make it your own. My general rule, and what I was telling JL and some other people earlier, my general rule is read a post to be inspired by it and then write your own. Don't go back to it and look at it again. Don't copy and paste it and change a couple words. Like just read it through, and then think about what it says or what you liked about it, what resonated with you, and then write your own post, because that way you can't copy because you don't have it. Well, unless you're like Mike Ross on Suits. Does anybody watch Suits? My favorite show ever. Anyway, unless you're like that and you have a photographic memory, then you won't remember exactly what you just read. So you can write a post that's inspired by that one, that still has maybe the same feel, but it's in your words and it's personal to you. And I can tell you right now, the best posts are always, 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 always personal. They're always telling your story, how something affects you, they're always personal posts. So make sure that, you know, your posts are telling your story and are telling things that are absolutely 100% personal to you. Those are the ones that are going to resonate. Those are the ones that are going to get really good comments and feedback and likes and messages and all that kind of stuff. So make sure that you're always doing that and not just copying and pasting. And then, hold on, I took some notes just to make sure I covered everything. When you create value, like I said earlier, they'll realize they need to purchase from you and not from Amazon or eBay or someone else. So you want to make sure that you're creating the value. When you copy and paste something, you take yourself completely out of the equation. Like, that's exactly what you do. There's no reason they should come to you, right? Because they've seen that post before, or anybody could have written that post because it's not personal to you. You copy and paste it. Same thing with a stock photo. Like if I don't know how many times I've said this, but please do not take a picture off the Beachbody page or, you know, like Google Images or whatever of the containers or Autumn or Sagi or one of the trainers. Like, don't use those pictures. Your pictures have to be scroll stopping. You can put yourself with the containers or try to put yourself, like if you're going to do a post about chia seeds, right? Like you're eating chia seeds now or you're trying them out or whatever. Like instead of just putting a picture of a chia seed or a package of container of chia seeds, like I saw one once where this girl was holding it and she was like, chia, you know, with the bottle or the container rather of chia seeds. And then it's her though. And so it's a lot more interesting for her to say, you know, to get people to interact. Like, do you use chia seeds? How do you use them? This is how I'm using them, you know, that kind of thing. So anyway, that type of post would do much better than just a picture of chia seeds. Well, a picture of you with the containers or with the meal that's 21 Day Fix approved that looks yummy, that's going to be much better than a picture of the containers or a picture of Autumn with the containers that people have seen a million times. So make sure that you're differentiating yourself, and you do that by putting yourself into your post. Like, when somebody reads your post, they should be able to say, like, even if they didn't see your name, they should be able to say, oh, that's Corey's post. That totally sounds like Corey. I can hear her in my head saying those words because it sounds just like what she would say. Well, that's what you want your post to be. You want them to be all you, all personal, and exactly what you would say. Okay, number 2, don't get discouraged if people aren't responding right away. You're new to this or you're newer to this and it takes time. First of all, you probably don't have a huge network yet. You probably just have, you know, a couple hundred, 300. If you're just starting, you might not have a bunch of friends, Facebook friends. And so even if you post at an ideal time, which is usually in the evening, you're going to kind of have to try and figure out when the best time for you to post is. From my audience, it's in the evening. It's after kids are in bed, baths, in bed, and dinner and all that. It's after that. For some people, it's early morning. Some people, it's in the late afternoon. You're going to kind of have to play around and see. But this is the thing with Facebook. Whenever you post something, even if it's a really great post, but the first few people who see it don't respond, then Facebook says, oh, it's not really that great of a post, or nobody cares. So they're not going to show it to anyone else. Does that make sense? So you need your post to be at a time when your audience is going to see it and respond, either with a comment or a like or something, because that's going to get it to show up in more people's newsfeed. Otherwise, Facebook goes, it's not relevant. I'm not even going to show it to anybody else. So you want to get, and it's trial and error. You're going to have to figure out when that time is. But don't feel like just because somebody hasn't commented on your post or liked your post or a bunch of people haven't, that it wasn't a good post or that nobody's going to buy it and give up or whatever. That's not the case. It takes time and consistency, like I said over and over. You need to be posting consistently and all of that. And people will message you out of the blue who never, ever, ever comment on anything or who never like anything. And you're going to be so surprised. You're going to be like, wait, what? But you've never liked anything that I've ever done. You want to be in one of my groups, like you want in my accountability group, you want more information. You've never said a word, so you don't say that necessarily, but that's what's going on in your mind, right? And so that happens a lot. So people are just too shy or whatever. And so just keep doing it because you're building an audience, you're building credibility. And then, a year from now, when they're ready, they're going to see that you've been consistent this entire year. So they're not going to hesitate when they want to give their money to someone. they're going to choose you. Don't ever, 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 ever put a link or a price on anything. Never. Like, I don't care how great your post is. If you're then like saying to somebody in the comments, oh, it's just $140, moving right along. Like, how many of you would be like, okay, here's my money, just based on that one post? Absolutely not, right? Heck no. I don't care if it's on sale. I don't care. No, leave it out. The value, nobody understands the value until you explain to them everything they're going to get with the 21-day fix challenge pack or whatever. You have to create that value for them. And then they're going to go, oh, well, that's a pretty good deal. But it all happens in the relationship, and you have to find out their why, and you have to connect that to the program and make them see. You have to give them that image. They need to be able to see that they're going to reach that goal, their why, based, with that program and with your guidance. You have to create that vision for them. So don't put a price up there, because people are just going to keep on going. Ever, ever, ever. I don't ever want to see a price or a link, because that's just spammy. You can do it in a private message when they're ready to order. You don't need to send a link prior to when they're actually ready to order. There's no need to send a link before that. It's all about the conversation. And that's the other thing. Don't rely on social media to sell challenge packs. You will sell some for sure, based on your posts on social media. You absolutely will. You will not hit Success Club 10 or 5 every single month based solely on your Facebook post. It's just not going to happen. What happens, like, that creates, that's sort of the springboard for the conversations. The conversations you have behind the scenes after you make the post, the private invites, like, that's when you're going to sell challenge packs. When you have the conversations and connect with people one-on-one in the conversations, that's when you're going to change people's lives. That's how you do that. Not just by throwing up a Facebook post and then hoping that somebody contacts you. That's not the way it works. Especially in the beginning. Like, down the road, you will have more and more of that when you have shown that you're consistent. But in the beginning, there's really no substitute for personal invites. You're going to have to send invitations every single day, at least 3 invitations, at least 5 days a week. You have to. Like, there's really absolutely zero substitution for that. You're going to absolutely have to do that. So that's super important. And then, number 5, I already said it's your storefront. So, like, if you're fighting with your husband, don't post about it. If you are, whatever, if you've had a horrible day and you're just venting, like, just think about what you're doing, because it's your storefront. So it literally, like, it is your business now. So everything else you need to somehow shine a light on what just happened. Like, there needs to be a silver lining somewhere, or it's not post-worthy, right? You just need to, like, go talk to someone or whatever, because posting it out there for the world to see is not going to help anyone. It's certainly not going to help your business. So I'm not saying you can't have a bad day. You can have a bad day, but there's got to be some silver lining there. And then, let me see. Yeah, exactly. It's just like clocking in. Let me get on Facebook. No drama. Absolutely no drama. Because people are automatically, whether you intend it or not, people are automatically going to think that that's the way you are in life. Like, they're going to be like, I don't know if I want to get caught up in that drama. I don't want to, somebody who's that negative all the time or whatever. Hold on. Right. No relationships. What it is. Guilty. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Just catching up on the chat. Okay. And then don't post and pray, right? I know, like, one post is not going to make or break you. It's not. Like, I've had bad posts before. Thankfully, you can go back and delete them. Though they are out there probably forever. Once something's on Facebook, or on the internet, period, it's just out there for good. But don't post and pray. So what really grows your business is, like I said before, is the private message, the one-on-one communication, the finding out what somebody's goals are, finding out where somebody struggles. And that's key, right? You want to find, if you're really in this business to help people, which we all are, then our goal is to get to their core, right? To really connect at what drives them, at what is hurting them, at what they need. Like, you need to find all of those things out before you ever give them a link, before you ever give them a price. you have to actually, you absolutely have to have those one-on-one conversations and the invites. And I've also, I know of instances where people will say, if you hadn't personally invited me, I would have never come to you, because they're just shy. Like, some people are just shy and they need you to make that contact. They need you to invite them to what you're doing, because they are not the type of people who will come to you and approach you about it. So there are people like that. I mean, maybe you're not that person, but there are people out there like that. So make sure that they have no reason, like, you've invited them. And it doesn't have to be a salesy invite. It's like, invites are a whole nother call. But it can be super simple, short. They should be super simple and short and sweet. And they don't need to be anything complicated in 5 paragraphs or whatever. Short and sweet, a couple lines. I mean, that's really all it takes for more information. But anyway, like I said, don't post and pray. So that's what I mean by that. Don't just post and hope somebody responds to your post. Like, you need to be sending the invites. And then the last thing is just don't wait. Don't wait for perfection, because it's not going to happen. You're never going to be perfect. You're never going to have the perfect body. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. It's not going to happen. And that's not relatable anyway, right? So I know, except for Regan. Regan's is perfect, but nobody else is. But don't wait for that. Don't overthink. Like, don't think about, like, oh my gosh, what are they going to think of me if I post this? Or what is so-and-so going to think about me if I invite them? Do you know that every person you know has some sort of fitness goal? Like, every person you know either wants to lose weight, wants to gain weight, gain muscle, tone up, whatever. Everybody has something they want to do fitness-wise. Like, I literally don't know a single person who does not have some type of fitness goal. They're not going to be offended if you invite them. If you post about, your workout or whatever, like, really, what are you afraid of? Like, is somebody going to remove you from their friends list? Like, I seriously doubt it. And if they do, is that person the person you want in your life? Is that your lifer? Is that the person you want to hang out with? If they are somehow offended by your inspirational post, probably not, right? And they're certainly not writing your paycheck. So, I mean, you have to just think about that. Like, there's really nothing in the world to be afraid of. What's the worst that can happen? Like, talk yourself through it. What's the worst that can happen? If you're not being salesy, if you're doing this the right way, and you're not throwing up links, and you're not throwing up prices, and you're not talking about Beachbody all day, every day, like, if it really is 20% of the time, like, you're not going to offend anyone. And if your heart's in the right place, I think it's Summer Tucker who said, if you're approaching it from that place in your heart that really cares about people, then they're not going to be offended, right? Nobody's going to be offended by that. So as long as you're coming at the business from the right place, which is not to make millions, it's to help people. And the millions will come if you're helping people. But you have to have your heart in the right place to begin with, or the money comes as a result of that. Like, nobody can be successful in this business if your heart's not in the right place. Like, it just doesn't happen. You cannot be successful if you just want to make money. The money comes, absolutely, and it's amazing and beyond probably what you ever imagined. And it will come with consistency, but it's not, it cannot be your reason. That makes sense. So anyway, don't wait for perfection. Don't overthink. Just do it, and you'll tweak it as you go, and you'll get better and better and better, and you'll get to know your brand better. But also, the last thing I want to talk about is just create every post you make, you should be thinking about your ideal customer. Like, my ideal customer watches HGTV. They probably watch Fixer Upper. It's a woman, probably in her 30s. Somewhere in that, maybe early 40s, late 20s, but mostly like 30s. Probably from, I don't know, could be from the Midwest or the South, more than likely. They like sports. They don't take themselves very seriously. Like, that's me, right? So your ideal customer probably looks something like you. Mine probably has kids. Probably went to college, I don't know. They probably look a lot like me. And so that's what most of your customers are your, not necessarily your customers, but your coaches, your lifers, like Shalene always says. Those people will look very much like you. So you want to write your post for those people, specifically for those people. You don't need to cast your net so wide that you'll just take anybody, right? I mean, certainly you'll help anyone who comes to you, but you really want to find the people who you connect with and who you can help continually, like not just after one challenge group, that they will become coaches, and then they'll have a team of their own, and you'll connect in those ways. And so you're looking for those people. That's why I want you to think about the way you're, like with every single post, you're talking to that person, you're talking to your specific coach or customer. And then I said last time, but I have one more thing. Make sure that you're doing a couple of lifestyle posts every single week. And by lifestyle post, I mean something without a call to action, something, I talked about this in the Diamond Party, but something that talks about what you love about coaching. Maybe it is the community. I mean, that was huge for me. I moved to Dallas and didn't know anyone, and was having a baby, and I was coming from a law firm world where I was just surrounded by coworkers all day, every day, and working 110 hours a week or whatever, and then going to where I was by myself with a baby, like all day, every day, like total 180. It was craziness in a town where I didn't know anyone. So the community was huge for me. It was huge for me to find the relationships that I had with these women through Beachbody. So that was big. So you can talk about that. You can talk about just the fact that you're surrounded by all these encouraging, uplifting people when the rest of your newsfeed is trash, and that's huge. You can talk about the fact that you were able to pay your water bill, or the fact that you were able to pay your car, make your car payment, or you are able to set aside money for a vacation that you would like to take with your family. Whatever it is, it's different for all of us, but you need to have a couple of posts every single week. And I'm not saying, I know a lot of you are not stay-at-home moms, and maybe you don't even want to be, whatever. Like for me, it's easy to make a lifestyle post about the fact that I'm able to stay home with my kids. But maybe it's just the flexibility, the fact that, yeah, you work a full-time job, you can fit this in when you have time, like on your lunch break or in the evening. Like how nice you can just fit it in whenever you can. Or how awesome that you can take it anywhere. If you're traveling and you're still able to do everything on your phone and check in with your customers. You can have an entire business basically on your cell phone. How cool is that? Like just those types of things. You just want to make sure that you're talking about lifestyle. If you just talk about fitness, you're going to attract people you're going to attract challengers, which is great, and who want to do the programs. But if you want to attract a lot of business builders, then you need to be talking about the lifestyle, because that's generally, sure, you're going to have some, like Jackie is my person who went through challenge groups with me, and she was my big fitness, she lost 105 pounds, as you guys know, and she fell in love with the programs and had this amazing transformation. So she was one of those coaches. But the other side, and she kind of fell in love with the lifestyle after the fact, or the coaching stuff after the fact, after she went through the programs. And so you will have people like that who are incredible builders. But then you'll also have people like me who got into the business for the business building opportunity. So you just need to make sure that if that's what you want, you're attracting those people too. So if you want fast business builders, like the Jackies of the world take longer because she wanted to have a transformation first. So it took her a while before she decided to join my team. But with other people, like with me, I had never done a program, a Beachbody program. I just jumped in. I loved fitness, and I wanted to work from home. So that's all it was for me. So you just make sure that if you want to attract people who want to build a business, and don't necessarily want to be discount coaches who then maybe want to build a business or whatever, you've got to be making sure that you are putting the lifestyle post out there and attracting that kind of person. Yeah, exactly. See, it took Jackie over a year. It's a long time. And I mean, you guys will be here a year from now, right? So you can wait it out and you'll have some of those. But it's nice to have people who want to build a business from the jump too. Okay, hold on. I'm catching up on the post. Probably may work out. Yeah, definitely post a lifestyle. I mean, at least once or twice a week. People, if you've gotten a gift from somebody on, like your coach, post about it. If you got a Success Club prize from Beachbody, post about it. If you're going to Cabo, post about it. Do you know how many people are going to see Cabo pictures and be like, I want to join their team. I want to be in Cabo. Like, heck yeah. So anytime you do anything like that, when you go to Super Saturday, Super Sunday, post pictures of that stuff, because people are watching and they're going to say, I wanted to be part of that. I wanted to be part of something bigger. I wanted to be part of that group of women who look like they're having fun, who are doing fitness, yeah, but they're also just friends and they're having fun, right? Because so much of this is just the community, and people do, and above all else, they want to be part of something. So make sure that you're sharing that kind of stuff. Yeah, work on your nanny game for sure. It's really important to post things other than Beachbody, because you will attract people. But this is the thing: if you're posting Beachbody all the time, and somebody's like, I might want to be a Beachbody coach, but they're not sure, and they look at your post, they look at your Facebook page, and they're like, I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can post 5 times a day about Beachbody, because nobody in my family would, or my friends would be cool with that or would like for me to do that. I don't think that I would feel comfortable, posting workout videos every day or whatever it is. Like, just make sure there's enough variety there so they can tell that you're still you, that you just have a little bit of Beachbody thrown in, because people are going to have a hard time in their minds going, I have to jump from where I am right now to posting all day, every day about Beachbody. That's going to be a turnoff to them. So you need to make sure that there's more substance to you than just that, if that makes sense. You want people to look at you and go, you know what, I could do that. I could do that too. And if you just post Beachbody all the time, not only, they might say they could do it, but would they want to do it? Probably not, right? So, just think about it from that person's perspective. So your little assignment for tonight is to look at your Facebook feed, see if you're following the 80-20 rule, and then also just maybe have somebody else take a look at it and see where you're lacking. If you can't tell yourself, but if you have too many stock photos, if you have any links, anything like that, just delete it. Just delete it right now. Prices, anything like that. Because remember, again, it's your storefront. You want to draw people in, but most importantly, you want to add value to the world. So they keep coming back to you. And when they have a choice of Amazon or eBay or you, heck yeah, they're going to go to Corey Abraham, because she provides value every single day. So that's what you want them thinking. There's no question. This is who I'm going with, because I want to be part of her group, because I know that I will benefit from that value. Okay, so let me see this last question. Links like www.beachbody.com / whatever, that kind of link. Like, go here to buy my stuff. So don't do that. And we're about to drop the call. Like, it's almost over. So anyway, you guys have an awesome night, and I will see you all online.